Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So happy to have you here, so happy to be here. Yeah, the holidays are coming up. We know this. By the time I'm posting this, Thanksgiving is tomorrow. It's kind of wild. Yes, we are still in a pandemic. It is the eighth, almost ninth month that we've been in quarantine, in lockdown. We got a little close, but here in California, at least in the Bay Area, we got to a second lockdown situation. Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about today. For today's video, we are talking all about food anxiety, specifically around the holidays. Now, having food anxiety any time of year, but it's specifically this year, or this time of year, is so insanely common. If you have any type of fear of food, more than likely you're gonna just be surrounded by it by this time of year. Like for myself in the past, I would spend all year from January as a New Year's resolution, like I'm gonna finally get fit, I'm finally gonna lose the weight. All those generic weight loss sayings here. I would spend all year trying to find the right diet, find the right exercise plan, one that I could stick to, and then I'd fall off, and then fall off the wagon, and fall off the wagon, get back on the wagon, basically every month, to a certain degree. And then Halloween was like usually okay for me, but essentially from Halloween to New Year's was just constant anxiety around food, around dieting, exercising. Like if a normal time during the year is like here, during the holiday season it was like, it was a lot more. Specifically this time last year was probably the worst holiday season for me, because I was genuinely trying to say no to eating, like mindless eating, and even actively choosing to say no when I wanted something. In my past relationship that I was in this time last year, I was trying really hard to stick to something and to prove to him that I could, finally do it and stick to it, and that I had the willpower to finally lose the weight and look the way that he wanted me to look, which, newsflash, that's why we're no longer together. A main reason why we're no longer together. Most of the time in the past, what I would do to make myself not feel as bad is on those certain days where it would be a certain like holiday get together or party or like our family traditional meal or whatever, I would just say, screw it, I'm gonna enjoy myself, which I did, and I still do. Eat everything in sight until my stomach was so insanely full. I wasn't necessarily 100% satisfied, but my stomach was extremely full. And then the next day I'd wake up and I would still feel bad, but I would initially tell myself, oh, it doesn't count. That never happened. And just kind of brush it off like it never happened, and all those calories that I ate and all the macros and whatever doesn't matter. And then initially the next weeks leading up until the next event that I had, I would chronically exercise, really restrict on my eating habits, because I would try and make up for what I just ate. Since I ate so much, I knew that I still had to eat, but I wouldn't eat as much. Anyway, to wrap it all up, in today's video, I'm going to be sharing my top 5 tips on how to minimize food guilt during the holiday season. This first type of tip that I want to share with you is something that you can start doing now that will help you throughout the next year to come, and will help you before even the holiday season arrives in the following year. And that is to start keeping those tempting foods around in your house basically all year round. This is basically just exposure therapy. If you ever thought or said the phrase, "I can't keep blank in the house," when you're referring to your favorite foods, then that means you probably feel out of control and anxious around said food. By keeping those chocolates, sweets, candy, ice cream, cake, pie, cookies, whatever it is, I say all these sweet things because that's usually what it was for me. I have a massive sweet tooth, and I know for a lot of people it can too, but whatever category of foods it is that you can't keep in the house, just start buying them. Not a lot of them, but start buying like a small package of cookies, for example, and keep them in the house. At first, you'll be craving them all the time. You'll probably be, by allowing yourself to have it in the house at all times means that it's not off limits. Because when we don't keep something in the house, we make it feel like it's scarcity. We have a scarcity mindset around food. Because it's like if you only buy Oreos for a special occasion, you buy the Oreos and you're like, oh, I gotta eat all of these because they're only here right now. But the thing is that Oreos are available year-round. Of course, on certain holidays and occasions, they have like their specialty flavors, which I will admit are pretty damn good. But if you're just talking about regular Oreos, if you just keep them in the house and buy them on a more regular basis, maybe not every week, then it'll be like, oh, okay, these are here. I can have them whenever I want something sweet or I'm craving specifically an Oreo cookie. Versus, oh, we finally bought them. Someone brought them into the house. I have to eat all of these. It's again, it's changing from that scarcity mindset of, oh, I don't allow myself to have these, so when they're here, I have to eat all of them, to they're here in the house. I can have them whenever I want. They're not going anywhere. And I can allow myself to have it. Tip number 2 is all about mindfulness. I cannot stress this one enough. I cannot stress it enough. You simply just have to take it one day at a time. You have to take it one meal at a time. Hell, you can even take it one bite at a time. You have to focus on the here and now. When it comes to food, you need to make choices that will satisfy you right now in this moment. Like, what will make you happy? What will fulfill your cravings and your hunger at the same time? Again, the idea of one bite of a salad will not make you healthy instantaneously. One bite of a bad food, like a burger, will not make you unhealthy instantaneously. Same thing with if you ate an entire meal. That meal will not dictate you being healthy or unhealthy. Again, it's all about the choices that you make over time. Having an all foods mentality is gonna help bring a lot more peace to your life when it comes to having food around and planning out what you want to eat, but also it'll help gain a natural weight set point for your body, and you'll be able to figure that out much more easily versus just eating one salad and be like, okay, I'm healthy, I can blow off my diet for the rest of the week or whatever. So the fact that the holiday season as a general overview can add a lot more stress into your life, especially on top of normal life stress, and especially with 2020, it's really key to check in with yourself, because 9 times out of 10 during the holiday season, if you're just eating and you're saying like, oh, I just want to enjoy it, you're probably more than likely eating to fill an emotional need or some type of fulfillment and stress reliever. So always check in with yourself and see where you're at mentally, emotionally, I can't say that word today, emotionally, physically, spiritually, like just an overall check-in to see how you're feeling, what's going on, and see if you're actually hungry or if you're just craving something that you can't get an answer to. And if you can't get an answer to it, I understand, like, it can just seem like you're trying to grasp for something, but talk it out with someone, you know, which we will get to in a little bit. And lastly, on this topic of mindfulness, another way to practice it that really helped me when I first started intuitively eating was to minimize and limit as many distractions as possible. Pretty much just any type of media that would really take your attention away from what you're eating. I would be able to do like a little check-in. I'd be able to, you know, actually enjoy the taste of my food. I could smell it. I could enjoy the texture of it and see how it made me feel. So it's really important to, at least every now and then, you don't have to do it for every meal, because let's face it, most of the time I'm watching YouTube or Netflix or listening to a podcast or something just to constantly engage my brain, but you want to make sure that every now and then you can be distraction free with your meals, so that way you're able to truly check in and start listening to your hunger and fullness cues and see what you're actually craving as well. Okay, tip number 3 is all about giving yourself unconditional permission to eat. Once again, I cannot stress this one enough. This is something that should be practiced pretty much all year round, but especially during the holiday season, because we are going, or I guess on a normal time of year, we're going out, we're seeing friends a lot more, we're doing like friend get-togethers, little parties, dinners, and just celebrating a lot more with food. So give yourself permission to enjoy it. Have fun. A lot of people bond around food and meals, and that's okay. Like, I've always known that for my family, at least, whenever pretty much any celebration, we would always go out to eat and celebrate something and spend time together and catch up and talk about whatever it was. So it's all about truly enjoying the experience and not just focusing solely on the food. Now, another thing that even to this day, I still remember on my bad body image days, but specifically in the past, I would always try to remind myself, no matter how much I did or didn't eat yesterday, I still need to eat today. Because no matter how much shame or guilt or how bad I felt around what I ate the previous day or the previous week or whatever time I was looking back on, doesn't matter. You still need to eat and nourish your body in this moment. And again, this goes back to mindfulness. You want to make sure that you are focusing in on the here and now. You deserve to eat no matter what. The holiday season, when it comes to food, is supposed to be enjoyed. It's a lot of fun recipes, new recipes, treats and desserts that, again, you probably only make around this time of year, or that some family or friends only make around this time of year. So enjoy it. Again, nothing bad will happen to you if you eat a cookie. Again, if anything, it's all positives, because you get to actually enjoy something that you want to eat and you get to feel all the positive. I don't know if you get endorphins from eating food. I want to look into that. You probably do. Or dopamine, is that what it is? Anyway, you'll feel happy chemicals rushing through your body because of how damn good something tastes. Eventually, when this does start to become a little bit easier and more part of your life on a day-to-day basis, you'll be able to have a more simpler process. Again, this goes with intuitive eating of, hey, I'm craving something sweet. What do I have? Or what do I want to go get? Oh, I want to go get a donut. So you go get the donut, you eat the donut, you feel satisfied because you satisfied your craving, and then you move on with your life. Now, I know what you're most likely thinking by me just saying that. I never believed that. I was like, how do you just eat whatever you want or what you're craving and move on with your life? That seems so impossible to me. But I can say from firsthand experience that it's a fact. I'm able to eat just about anything that I'm craving I can tell if I want more or if I want to stop, and then I move on with my life. And let me tell you, it's fantastic. So definitely keep practicing this one. Alright, tip number 4 is to constantly practice self-compassion. You have to remind yourself that this is a journey. This isn't a, oh, I'm here now, I've achieved everything, and I'm good. Like, no matter who you are, healing your relationship with food and body image is going to be a constant journey. And it's a fun one, honestly. It can get a little tricky at sometimes, but for the most part it's very fun because you get to discover new things. And anyway, I'm getting off track. The phrase that most people say is that we are our own worst critics could not be more true than for this one. Because we are so hard on ourselves and talk so negatively about ourselves when it comes to our bodies and our body image. But think about it. When we talk to our friends, we constantly, since we love them so much, we constantly hype them up. We constantly give them compliments, and even though we'll tell them the truth, we still tell them with love and compassion, and we feel empathy for them. So why the hell can we not do that for ourselves? I'm asking for a friend. And last but certainly not least, tip number 5 is to have your support system at the ready. Again, I'm gonna say it again. I cannot stress this one enough. Because when it comes to anxiety, depression, overwhelming feelings, any thoughts surrounding EDs, we always feel alone and we always want to isolate ourselves. But it's super important to be surrounded by people that we love and that care about us and that understand what we're going through. So I highly recommend talking with your friend or a family member, whether they're there physically with you or if you can at least text them and be like, hey, can I text you or call you at any point in time, either during an event or just in general, of when I'm feeling overwhelmed or anxious about food and my body and all these things. Can I text you? And they'll probably be like, hell yeah, like let's do it. And if anything, you guys can be support systems for each other. Because I know in the past, and I guess even to this day, even though I may be going through something, I love helping people. It's kind of a reason why I'm a coach. I love helping people, and helping people helps me. So even if I'm going through something, I'll be like, hey, I can help you right here, right now. Like, what's up? What can I do for you? Type of thing. Again, this goes without saying, but check in with your mental health as well. If you can't support someone, but you need support, let them know. Be like, hey, I really need support right now. I would love to support you, but right now I can't mentally handle it or emotionally handle it, however you want to word it. And just be upfront with people. Also, another great thing is you can have a group text of people, so that way it's like a little support group system that you have right there in your phone at any point. Because I know I have friends who have gone through certain things when it comes to food and body image, so if you just have a little support group of your own, even better. Alright, to recap everything, I don't know what that was. To recap everything that we just talked about, tip number 1, keep those tempting foods in the house year-round, so that way you get accustomed to having the abundance mindset of, oh, it's here, I can have it whenever I want, and I don't have to worry about it, versus the scarcity mindset of when something is brought into the house, you feel way out of control and like you feel like you need to eat it all right now because it's right here, right now. Not the best way to go. Tip number 2, all about mindfulness. You want to focus in on the here and now. You want to satisfy your cravings right here, right now. Again, one meal will not be life or death. It just really won't. It's all about the changes and the habits that you create over time. Tip number 3, giving yourself unconditional permission to eat. No matter how much food you ate yesterday or didn't eat yesterday, you still need to eat today. You still need to nourish your body today. Tip number 4, practice self-compassion. Talk to yourself how you would talk to a friend. If you need to phrase it that way, and like you're talking in a mirror or something, however that works for you, just practice self-compassion. You know, just show a little love. You know, just, we all need it. We all need it. And tip number 5, have your support system at the ready, meaning have someone that you know you can text during overwhelming times, anxious times, and thoughts and feelings and all the crazy stuff. Well, there you have it, my top 5 tips on how to navigate the holidays with food anxiety. I really hope this helps you for Thanksgiving or Christmas or literally any other holiday when it comes to food, and also year-round. These tips obviously don't just apply to the holiday season. These are things to keep practicing all year round. I will link below a blog post with everything that we talked about today, just laid out in a simple format so that way you have something to access quickly if you need a little refresher or to share with your friends. Last but not least, I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Enjoy all the food, enjoy the family and friend time that you have, whether it's in person or over a Zoom call or whatever it may be. Let me know down below if you have any topics or questions you want me to cover. If you do want to get to me more directly, I am really active. I was trying to think of the word. I'm very active over on Instagram, which everything will be linked down below so you can contact me there. Other than that, check out the description box for more information about things and working with me one-on-one. And I will see you in the next video. Bye, friends.